So, sister, so first of all, thank you for giving us your time. The Defender, we're doing an article from the growing number of brothers and sisters who are practicing traditional African faith. So I
Mm.
just want to start off by asking you, what is the faith system that you practice?
It's interesting we use the word practice because I kind of stopped using that word because there's practicing and then there's living it. So the spirituality that I live is Ifa Orisha tradition, and I have been a priestess of the Orisa Oya for the last 8 years. Excuse me. Yes, it's okay. You can come put it in my hand. Wave to the camera a little bit. Thank you. Lavender coffee.
So what's that you're drinking?
A lavender coffee.
Is it good?
Yes. Not too sweet. It's relaxing. I'm enjoying it.
So you are living Ifa. Curious to know, is this the faith tradition that you were born into? And if not, how did that transition happen?
Oh boy. No, actually, I was raised a daughter of a Southern Baptist Christian deacon. And I would say since childhood, I was always kind of trying to peek behind the curtain. I always knew that when it came to connecting with the Most High God, connecting to the divine, I always knew there was more to it than what was being presented, especially as a woman. And so I would say that most of my life I was always looking for that something under the surface. And I had always had an uncanny connection to nature. And Ifa Orisha tradition is nature based faith and connecting to the Most High God in his and her divine aspects by way of the Orishas, the ancestors, and the forces of nature. And that for me brought God alive in everything. And I made my conversion, interestingly, at the age of 33, which is very symbolic to Christ and, his crucifixion at the age of 33. But to answer your question, no, I started out as a Christian deacon's daughter and made this quantum leap into the faith of my ancient traditions. My God, you should have seen my family's reaction.
We'll talk about that. What was the reaction?
Well, there were different reactions, because I'm the youngest of all of my siblings. So when I got the reading that revealed that I was to become a priestess, I kept quiet about it because I had never been more sure of anything in my entire life. Because one day when I was down on life, and I was at the crossroad, which is where we are now, and the crossroad is Eshu's domain. And the Orisha Eshu represents choices, represents intentions, represents our path in life, our internal battle between our spirit and our ego selves. And I had the audacity to ask, why did God put me on this planet? I didn't want more money. I didn't want another man. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to know, why did God put me on this planet? And Ifa Orisha tradition was the answer. And I actually got the final confirmation actually came from the Christian church because I tried to run back to church because at first I was, you know, I'll say it, brainwashed by the teaching that, oh, that's hoodoo and voodoo and scary and evil and demonic and you're going to hell with a scholarship and everything else in between. But when I acquired enough knowledge to know which Orisha was my crown, and I got a little scared of it and I wasn't sure that that was the answer that the Most High God was giving me. So I went back to church just for safekeeping, only for a Christian prophetess. And I told her nothing. I didn't tell her anything about my inner turmoil. And she told me in so many words that my time as just a Christian was up. and that I had to embrace Christ as a consciousness and not a religion. And the last thing that she said was that God had given me the power of the four winds. Now, making connection to that, the Orisha Oya is the Orisha goddess of the winds. And today I am a priestess of Oya. So I didn't say anything to my family at first because there's some doors, some things in everyone's journey that are just between you and the Most High. And when you know the Most High has spoken to your spirit, that doesn't need approval. That doesn't need co signing. That doesn't need to be contaminated with other people's thoughts and feelings and biases, you know. And so I didn't tell my mom until after my ceremonies were done. And my siblings, I just had to kind of brace myself for the WTFs heard across the country. Like, she did what? But my mom was a trooper. While other people in the family were giving their spiel, she was putting on her whites and coming to caravan. And the two matriarchs in my family, my great aunt Madia, who is now an ancestor after 100 years and 19 days. She and my grandmother, who also just became an ancestor at 97, those two got on the phone and they thought it was funny. And the oldest living family member, my Madia, the only thing she said was, I told y'all that baby was old. So there's that story.